MacVoices Holiday Gift Guide number 3, Part 2. This is MacVoices. MacVoices is supported by the MacVoices Slack. Discussions, questions, and answers, and a place to talk tech with your friends. The MacVoices Slack is available to all patrons of MacVoices. Sign up at patreon.com/MacVoices and join in. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, we wrap up the third MacVoices Holiday Gift Guide with Part 2, and our panel is anxious to get back to what they're going to try to cost me money with this time. Okay, we're through 2 rounds, and I already have things in my shopping cart. Brett has things in his shopping cart, so now we got to drag Patrice and Mark in. Brett, what are you going to do for us for round 3?
So I have a lighting pick that would tie in great. I have a storage pick, which would tie in great to a previous round. And I have a keyboard pick, which is completely out of bounds of what we've talked about so far. I think I'm going to go with this storage pick. The OWC Express M42. It's $350, and that $350 doesn't buy you any storage. Like, you have to buy the storage on top of that. But it is an SSD enclosure that you can add 4 cards of any size you want to. And it has the highest read-write speeds that I have seen on any external storage up to this point. So you give this to somebody, you tell them you spend between $300 and $600, however, to buy terabytes worth of SSD storage. And you don't have to fill all 4 slots, but you can fill them with whatever size you want to. And that base price gets you an external drive that operates nearly as fast as the internal onboard SSD for your Apple device. I have obviously not tested this on any other machine other than an Apple machine, but on an Apple machine, it will get you read-write speeds. So if you're doing video capture, if you're doing anything that requires very fast read-write speeds, it's amazing. It's great for serving video to other applications externally or internally on your Mac, and it's amazing. I love it so much. I got it for Christmas last year, actually.
It looks cool. I would say that you said it's $349 on the OWC. Right now, it's $249.
Oh, geez.
So the prices come down, or it's maybe a special, but it isn't a special. It's $249.
Brett, you need a backup.
Okay. So on Amazon, the enclosure, the RAID enclosure is $349. The plain enclosure is $249. Mark, you know what the difference would be there?
Yeah, soft RAID. Because I think on on OWC site it says it includes soft RAID. Which is the drivers that run on your Mac to support it. So, I guess it's cheaper at OWC than Amazon.
Well, there is on Amazon, you can get just the enclosure for $249. Yeah. So I assume that's what we're talking about. Either way, maybe buy it direct from OWC and don't support the Amazon oligarchy.
Mm-hmm. You could do that, but again, on there, it says right here, it includes soft RAID. So soft RAID is normally anywhere from like $80 to $250, depending on the version you get.
All right. Thanks for that. Perfect.
Brett, you need a backup. You need a second one.
I have to.
Oh, darn.
Of course.
I have two. I have 2 with 16 terabytes each, so I'm set.
Okay. I'm afraid to know how many terabytes of storage you have just hanging around the house. Mark, what do you have for round 3?
So it's a USB-C hub. It's a 4-port USB hub made by Belkin.
Mm-hmm.
And, this is great because I think, many of us, even if you have multiple USB-C ports on your computer, we're, I think, always port challenged. And, this is great because imagine you had 4 of those Samsung drives. You could plug it in here and using Apple's disk utility, you could build your own RAID, system to have either mirrored protection or concatenate them together to make them all look like one big volume, for big storage pool. Just some ideas of things to play with, or maybe you can reduce some clutter and just plug in other accessories into your Mac. Because I know the reason I'm getting this for myself as a Christmas gift is I don't have enough ports, and I have to keep plugging and unplugging devices in. And this will be, I think it's $50 now. It's a great solution. So provide a lot of utility. It's a piece of high tech plumbing to move all that power and move all those bits around.
You know what's funny? Amazon is showing me the French assets. I don't know if it's for the same for everybody. That's fun. No, it's a good idea.
Patrice.
Okay, so it's not just me.
The actual text on the page is English, but the graphic assets are in French. Yeah.
So that's good. No, it's a good idea. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, this is really affordable, and if you don't need the whole Thunderbolt thing for pass through, and so many devices you really don't. This is a really affordable way to take that MacBook M3 that you just got and increase the number of USB-C ports to it.
Yeah, especially when you're traveling, because this is small size. So if you're traveling, you just need to plug in multiple things, or just whatever. You have multiple things, you just want to plug in one thing. I don't know. You're working from another office somewhere. This helps with that, and it's compact, so you can just throw it in your bag. You don't have to carry around a big dock of some sort.
And I like the way Mark just mentioned, if you get 4 of this other thing and plug them in here, you can create your own RAID. That's nicely done, Mark. Nicely done. Patrice, round 3.
Round 3. So I'm gonna pick something that I think is for us. So it's probably not for most people, but it might be for us. So a lot of people have probably heard of the Eero or Netgear, one of the big network vendors. But there's a company out there called Ubiquiti, which actually provides equipment for professional setups, up to stadiums and 5G networks and whatnot, Wi-Fi and 5G and all of that. But they do have actually a line of affordable and really, really good, I would say, prosumer hardware. And the one I put in is in the chat and in the show notes is the Ubiquiti Dream Router. It's a new version, came out this year. There've been multiple versions before that. There is the Dream Machine Pro, which is then more, if you have a server rack at home or something, you would probably use that. But this is like a little cylinder. It has a gigabit WAN port. It has 4 LAN ports gigabit, with 2 of them being power over Ethernet. So if you want to hang up a second access point and send power to that, which Ubiquiti does, and I have one of them, you don't need an extra power plug or whatever. You can just literally plug in your Ethernet cable on both ends and it powers the device and stuff like that. What I really like about them is they have really, really good software. So you can imagine if a company that is providing managed hardware on a scale for stadiums, they need good management software. And you would think, oh, this is really complicated. But they figured out how to make that complicated thing still easy. So as I said, it's probably not for everybody, because you need some knowledge of what you're doing. The defaults that they ship with are good. They have wizards, they have everything you would need. So you can just plug it in and it works. But if you really dive into all the menu options and so on, it starts to get to a point where it's like, okay, I need whatever. I'm spanning up 5 different networks at home, for example. That's something I'm doing. I have a network for work. I have a network for my personal stuff. I have a network for a VPN that's literally connected to the US. So there's an entire Wi-Fi network that I just connect to if I need a VPN somewhere. I have a network for Internet of Things devices. And if you go on that level, you need to understand a little bit more about networks and how they work and so on. It's not much, but you need a little bit more than the default. So I think it's for us. We understand a little bit more about technology, and we can go there. And the cool thing about this is scalable. You can get the little Dream router and start with that, and it has a Wi-Fi 6 access point, and it's quite good. And then you can say, oh, maybe I need a managed switch. Another $40. You have a managed switch. You can say, oh, I'm having issues on the opposite side of my apartment. It's not the signal is not very strong in my bedroom. How about I hang up a second access point? You buy another access point, and it's plug and play. You just plug it in, it works. It adopts it, configures it, and runs. So it's just a really good, really flexible system. It has a lot of smarts in it. So they have a lot of intrusion protection, for example. I can literally block out, I blocked out any access from Russia, from Ukraine, from certain countries, China, and so on. They have you can monitor your traffic and it blocks ads, for example, stuff like that. So there's a lot of built-in power and built-in smarts in these devices. So, and they have they call them applications. So one is the network application. It's kind of the default. It's like your Wi-Fi, your wired network, and all of that, what you would need. But they also have security camera systems. They have door access control systems. They have an identity app, basically. It's like a, kind of single sign-on system that they provide. And on the Dream router, I think you can run 2 of them. So network is one. You can pick another one if you want. So I have a friend of mine, for example, he runs, he has a farm and he has, 30, 40 security cams on his farm and runs them through Ubiquiti. So he has the more professional gear because it's at that scale, need a little bit more power on the hardware. But yeah, you can that's the cool thing. You can literally start easy, start simple, and then scale up. And if you need something bigger, there's always something bigger available. And if you all of a sudden you own a stadium and you need that, well, Ubiquiti got you covered.
So hypothetically, if I had a family member who had even less networking knowledge than I did, I could get them this, and the setup would be pretty much point and click for them if they didn't need anything beyond your basic setup and firewall.
I don't think honestly, for the most part, plug it in, it works.
All right.
That has been my experience. If you go deeper, the cool thing is it has remote access capability. So I literally have an app on my phone, and I can, wherever I am, I might be in Portugal or whatever, I can check in on my network at home. And there's what's also pretty cool, there's a built-in VPN.
Nice.
So they have a built-in VPN. I can VPN into my network through them and do whatever. It's quite nice. Not that I would have a problem running my own VPN because I do that, but I don't have to.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I would say for the most part, plug and play.
Very nice.
Looks really good. This looks really good. It has a lot of capabilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the problem. And once you start, you're like, oh, maybe I should get the bigger one.
Well,
but the idea
that
you can upgrade it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's all managed. Oh. So it's you have a switch, and you can configure every port and say, okay, this port goes in this network. That port goes into that network. If you want to, you don't have to, but if you want that, you can do that. It's managed. So it's not the dumb switch that just whatever goes in goes out. Doesn't care.
Yeah. So I have Veros, but I would say for anybody, in the listening audience, if it's been a number of years, I'd recommend, for a speed boost, upgrade your Wi-Fi infrastructure. Whether it's this Ubiquiti product or Eero or something else, because I've noticed just a dramatic, about a 30% increase in speed just by when I updated, from an airport, airport N, to the Euro.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. And Euro is great. Like I had Euros. For me, it was too simple. It works great. Like nothing against Euro. It just, for me, for what I wanted out of it, the statistics I wanted, the options I wanted, it was too simple.
Yeah, well, that's the point. If you need to set up multiple networks and have have that control, Eero doesn't give it to you. But Ubiquiti, great product, and looking at it, it's affordable. Do you know roughly how? It's got 4 antennas, which I think I'm not sure. Eero may only have 3, maybe it has 4. But
no, they have on the bigger boxes they have 4 as well. That's kind of the gold standard these days.
Okay, so it can do beamforming, which is
exactly.
Really,
and I mean one of the differences is the antennas are fine, but what is the processing power behind the device? Because it has to manage all the clients. Like every connection, it has to manage, and that uses CPU and memory. So that's one of the big differences between an Eero and a Ubiquiti device. Like, I mean, ultimately, you can SSH. It's really funny. You can SSH, and I can SSH into my Wi-Fi access point, and you can see what's running behind the scenes, which is really cool. For I think for Brett and for me, we would really
very
enjoy
cool.
That. Yeah. So it's like. And you see, okay, this is running basically a Linux system in the background, and it's doing these things, and this is how much CPU is being used by this process and all of that. So it gives you all the options. I've literally SSH'd in and installed stuff there. Like I needed, when they didn't have the VPN capability I wanted, I just installed a package for VPN.
I just spent $300 on a router, and I'm very tempted by this.
I can tell you, where I got that recommendation from DocRock. So,
all right,
you know where this is coming from.
So maybe you can still return your existing router and
Probably,
that's great. Well, I'm going to go sort of low tech, no tech. For my third round pick, I hate doing any kind of yard work. There's always something easy. There's always something better to do, like watch paint dry. I just detest it. But the house I have has, it was purchased. I would never have put this in, but has a patio that has like a cobblestone. It's a cobblestone patio. And that means that weeds get in the cracks and grow up through them. And yard work is terrible, but pulling weeds out of cobblestones is pathetic.
Yes.
So I found this. This is a Flame King weed burner, which is basically
a flamethrower.
It's like a small flamethrower. Yeah, it's a blowtorch.
Oh my god!
and if you look at it, and we'll have the picture up here. It basically has it's a curved form. You hang one of those little gas bottles on one end, and it has a torch on the other. It has a little igniter block. You ignite it, and you've got maybe up to like a 6-inch flame. And you can just nuke the daylights out of the weeds without having to bend down or get on your hands and knees. The way they advertise it, and I have to say, I don't know if this is accurate, but I know the weeds don't come back very quickly. Is when you're burning them like this, you're burning not just the top off, but you're burning down into the root because you are using a gas flame, so it's hot. And the areas of my patio that I treated this year, the weeds did not come back. So if you and it's also, I have to admit, it's emotionally gratifying to burn the weeds as opposed to pulling
because what we did this year was to pour boiling water. The bricks on our patio, weeds come up between the bricks. And this year we went out and we poured like boiling salt water between the cracks. And that did a decent job of preventing weeds from growing back. But it did not have the emotional satisfaction of torching the weeds. I can see that being very gratifying.
I'm just imagining Chuck running around with this thing, like like a maniacal laugh, like.
Yeah, well, and yeah, Mark.
I've ordered one. It's being delivered tomorrow.
Yeah.
So can you use just a normal propane tank?
I mean, I don't know if I don't know, because then you would have to have a hose and have to drag that big thing around.
Oh no! I mean a normal can like you use for
just like a camp stove. Yeah. Okay, that's it. And what's surprising, I mean, somebody really thought this out well, because the way the curve is and where the bottle mounts, it really balances out well, so that you don't feel like you're having to, hold it at a particular angle. It just sort of rests in your hands, and then you can just maneuver it. But yeah, I will say this: you may want to watch your neighbors, because when you light it up, it is kind of loud, surprisingly loud. So they may think that you are. I don't know. I have no idea what the first neighbors thought I was doing with this, but they did look a little worried.
They heard you laughing, and they were like, "What's going on?"
Yeah. It's like, die, we die.
Take that.
Yeah. So, yeah, but really, it's and it's $24.
24,000 BTUs. Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, a lot of the chemicals don't do anything else. They're just chemical burns. They like just do the same thing.
Now, I want to make sure we're laughing about this. This is a serious device, so you have to make sure you don't catch something else. Set anything else on fire with it. You don't want to use it like for leaf removal at this time of year, at least here, because you could really start a real problem. So this is you're talking about a blowtorch kind of blue flame. So, treat it with respect.
Yeah, if you're in California, maybe don't buy it.
I don't know how they feel about it in California.
Especially if you're in California, you need to buy
it. It works. It works as advertised, and it's not terribly expensive. So, and I'm glad to know, Mark. Now so we got something in Mark's shopping basket. We got to get Patrice. We're at round 4. That means that if you have multiple things left, you have to pick what you think is your best one. So, Brett, what is your best last pick?
Oh, man. So I can't remember how the train of thought started, but I really wanted to make a SodaStream hack my last pick. But I didn't, my Google food didn't come through in time. Like, you can hack a SodaStream to use a larger CO2 tank that you can buy locally. Instead, I'm going to go with so we talked about Stream Decks, and Stream Decks are great. You can use them with your fingers, but what if you wanted to use your feet? What would you do? The answer is the Stream Deck pedal, which is right now on Amazon $82, and it gives you 3 programmable foot switches. And so I can, with my whole setup where I have like 3 different Stream Decks on my desk, I can change what the foot switch does with the press of a button. And I can reorganize those 3 foot switches to do whatever I need to in my current context. Most of the time, those 3 foot switches affect my microphone. I can mute a mic with my foot. I can change input-output, headphone input-output with the middle pedal. And the third pedal just turns on and off the mic mute so I don't mess it up. But you can do whatever you want. Anything you can trigger with Stream Deck, you can trigger with your feet. And it's fun. If someone already has Stream Deck and they're already into the ecosystem, they're already used to configuring buttons, get them a pedal. Let them use their feet. It's really fun.
Oh, great.
You just cost me money.
You got Patrice, Brett. There you go.
I should mention that Better Touch tool, which is the ultimate way to extend your Stream Deck. It's an app that's available on SetApp, and you can buy directly. Better Touch tool does offer direct Stream Deck integration. Makes it really easy to extend the pedal.
Good to know.
I'll send you a link for that too, Chuck.
Okay, thank you. Mark, last pick of 2023. What do you have?
I have interest in biological sciences, and so this is going to be completely separate. And this is a book. It's available both in Kindle version as well as a printed version. It's called Metabolical, the lore and the lies of processed food, nutrition, and modern science. The author is a pediatric endocrinologist, and it's a very eye-opening book. This was recommended to me a couple months ago, and I subsequently bought it. And it's very eye-opening about what is some of the root causes of why so much of the developed world seems to have problem with obesity and diabetes and the like. And this author ultimately traces back to changes in food and food diets where there's just too much. And I hate to say this, Brad or Chuck, too much corn that's processed. Inexpensive corn fructose basically is invaded all sorts of food. And the problem is that there's only one organ in the body, the liver, that can process it. So there's all sorts of negative biological effects that happen. He has a saying that he repeats multiple times, which is feed the gut and protect the liver. The idea being adjust your diet so that you don't ingest pathogens that stress and harm the liver. They can be things like fructose, can be things like having too much alcohol, or other foods, other processed foods with preservatives in them. And feed the gut. It basically stresses the importance of the gut microbiome. And one thing that a lot of people probably know or don't know they should be doing is getting a lot of fiber in the diet, because fiber is the food for your gut's bacteria, as well as fiber helps slow absorption of food, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so a smoothie and an apple are two different things and not the same thing.
Yes, but there is a lot of wisdom. If an apple a day, keeps the doctor away. So it's very interesting. It has a very easy to read style. He has a little bit of a sly sense of humor, and he gets some really subtle humor and some laughs every now and then. And I highly recommend it. It's very, very eye opening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've read one of his books. I think it was Fat Chance, I think.
Oh, yeah, about sugar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good book. Yeah. I added to my wish list already, so I'll listen to that.
I have heard that the U.S. diet includes so much corn that it has affected our DNA. Mm-hmm. I personally don't eat a lot of corn. I basically eat nothing but whole foods, and my corn intake is limited to tortillas. But I have heard that the Midwest diet has actually changed DNA, like at a cellular level, at a DNA level.
No surprise.
That's interesting.
Wow. That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
On that uplifting note, as we're all getting ready to feast for the holidays, Patrice, what do you have for your last pick?
So the funny thing is, I also picked the book, but it's fiction. So it's the Expeditionary Force series from Craig Allenson. I don't remember. I think, Chuck, did you recommend that to me recently? Someone did.
No, not this one.
It was last week at some point. I've already gone through almost 2 books. It's a really, really interesting series. It probably replaced my the top science fiction series that I think is the most realistic. It probably replaced that from The Expanse to this. So the story is basically a alien species, kind of looking like hamsters, invades Earth, or so they think. And there's another species looking like lizards already there, and supposedly our allies. And so their technology is way ahead of us. We don't even understand how their stuff works at all. Nothing. They're so far advanced. And there's multiple levels of advancement. So every species has a species under them and a species over them, and they're kind of all working together. And the US the Earth, the UN decides to send troops to another planet to participate somehow in an intergalactic war. And nothing turns out the way it looked originally. And there is a AI involved that gets involved that is gets the nickname Skippy and is kind of an asshole, and but is really, really, really good. It's way advanced, way ahead of everybody. Is from an old ancient civilization that left our realms millions of years ago, and it's kind of an asshole, but very effective at what it's doing. And it decides to pair up with the monkey meat sacks, how it calls us, to somehow reconnect to other AIs. So, and that's the story of this, at least the first couple books, I think. So, really interesting story, well written, really funny, and some point is at the I had completely forgotten about the AI part. Someone had told me about it and I forgot about it, and I was like, oh, this is a really good book, and I was really enjoying it, and then the AI comes and I'm like, wow, everything changed. So
I need you to confirm for me. It says readers also enjoyed, and then it lists 4 Dennis Taylor books. Do you also enjoy Dennis Taylor?
Don't think so.
Okay, because I love Dennis Taylor. I have read everything he does, and if those are the 4 you might also enjoy books, I might be totally into this. So just curious.
I mean, I have not read any Dennis Taylor books, so I couldn't tell you. But now that I've seen this, I should probably check them out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. It has the entire series. I think at this point is 16 books or something like that.
Wow,
it's a massive thing.
Prolific. So, all right,
really good. So,
I have not familiar with Dennis Taylor, so I'm going to add this to mine.
Dennis Taylor he's annoying. He's just so nerdy. He's reading Ready Player One, which is just so many nerdy references all at once. But at the same time, I love him. He creates this whole Bobaverse of this guy who's his entire brain was downloaded into an AI. And then that became a self-replicating AI and created an entire universe consisting of nothing but replications of this. It's a whole series.
Okay,
and it's
I got to
annoying
check it out.
and stupid, and I love it so much.
Yeah. I definitely like Ready Player One, which is also annoying and stupid, and I love it.
Yeah, you'll get this.
Okay. Well, I'm going to wrap up this round with something that's probably a little more of a stocking stuffer. Definitely affordable if you have an iPhone or an iPad. I just feel really strongly, as great as Apple's devices are, I want them wrapped in as much protection as I can get. And everybody has their favorite cases and all, and that's a whole nother discussion. But there is just no excuse now for you not to have a screen protector on your iPhone or on your iPad. The gone are the days when they were wet and messy and slippery and they had bubbles in them and you couldn't get the bubbles out. And so I want to recommend sorry, I should have thrown it in there first. The Amfilm screen protectors. This is a company that I've been using now for a long time. They're take nothing away from all the other names you probably know a lot better. They do a great job too, but the Amfilm ones always seem to be some of the first ones out when you get a new device. Their method of applying these is completely brain dead simple. You almost cannot, unless you try to, you cannot screw up the application. The films themselves are the screen protectors are great. They're tempered glass. If there's a complaint, and it's actually a feature, is that when it's time to send the iPhone back or trade it in, Apple doesn't like you to have a screen protector on, so you really have to, get a fingernail down there and find the edge and peel it off. But once it starts to peel, it pops right off. No adhesives left or anything. And if you think you don't need a screen protector, well, okay, think about how many times your phone may be laying on a desk or something and you drop something on it. Odds are it's not going to crack the glass. But what if it did? Now you've got Apple Care or not, you've got at worst, you've got inconvenience. And at even worst, you have expenses. So if you crack a screen protector, big deal. You just peel it off, put another one on, and keep on going. And I have cracked screen protectors by having things drop on my phone accidentally, and nothing to it. The same thing with an iPad. We recently had a discussion on MacVoices Live about Apple Pencils and using styluses and those kind of things. You are putting something on the surface of your iPad. And so why not put a tempered glass screen protector on there? It does not, none of these affect the performance of your finger or
you don't even notice.
You don't, once it's on, you will not even notice unless something happens. And then it's really nice to be able to say, well, let's see if I just peel the protector off, it goes.
Yeah, I have a different one from Spigen, but I highly recommend any kind of screen protector.
Yeah, and they just aren't they are not that expensive. They use, depending on which ones you get for which devices, usually they'll come with one, maybe two of them. So if you would, for some reason, screw up, you always have that second option. Usually, I just end up looking around for a friend or someone to say, hey, do you have a screen protector? No, and I put that second one on for them because they are specific to each model.
Yeah, but unless you're not super patient like me and you need 3 tries to put it on, which is, I've on the last year's phone, I needed 1 and it was fine. This time I needed 3. I don't know why. It just, just me.
Well, especially with the phones, Amfilm uses basically, I can't think of the word, a tray.
Yeah, I think they all do. Looks like this.
Yes, exactly. So instead of you applying the screen protector to the phone, you're basically applying the phone to the screen protector in the tray and then dropping it out, and it's seamless. So just do yourself a favor and protect your devices just that little bit extra. It won't cost you much, and who knows how much it could save you.
Yeah. The only thing I can definitely say is, and that's why it took me 3 tries, is do remove the dust particles from your screen before. And I didn't do that, and I regretted it. And then,
that's there's a procedure. And what, Patrice? The typical procedure takes what? 5 minutes? 7 minutes?
5 is even a lot. It's 2 minutes maybe.
Yeah, I didn't want to oversell it.
Yeah, but, it's really quick. I've done it a couple of times now, so get really quick.
Yeah, but you're right. Follow the instructions, and you will get a seamless application that you will be really happy with. But spend that money. It's just cheap insurance.
Yeah. And it's not that much. It's like $15-$20 for 2, something like that usually.
Yeah,
it's not
right
not
now.
A lot.
Right now, let's see, for the iPhone right now, the iPhone 14, it's the 6.1. It's $14.99 for 2 of them.
Yeah. So I mean, that's cheap insurance. If anything happens, if you scratch it, if like I don't know, you carry it in your purse or your bag, and there's something in there that might scratch it, easily worth it.
Yeah, and if I know I do my best to keep my phone in one pocket, my keys in another. Every once in a while, they'll end up together, and it's just nice knowing that I don't have to worry about pulling it out and saying, "Oh man, now for the rest of the phone's life, I'm going to have to deal with the scratch, and I'm also going to have to deal with somebody giving me less value for the trade-in, or Apple giving me a hassle when I go to upgrade." So
happened to me once. That's why I'm doing it now.
Takes once.
Yep, I had a really nice big scratch. I didn't know where it was from. Like it wasn't my keys or anything. I don't know how I did it. It just there it was.
Just in case you've ever wondered, a cat's claws can scratch an iPhone screen.
Really?
Should we ask how you know?
Oh, it's happened to me multiple times.
Yes.
Without a screen protector, a cat's claws can actually scratch an iPhone screen, which seems improbable, but I have experienced it.
Wow. They must have diamonds in their claws.
Right.
Okay, so for all the cat lovers, or you have cat lovers in your life, this is the perfect gift.
Yep.
Wow, I would not have believed that, Brett.
I swear it's true. So there's this game called iPad Game for Cats. It's a super original name, but it's basically it puts a laser pointer on the screen of your iPad and lets your cats, and every time they hit the dot, it like explodes and gives them like a new dot. And like my cats have loved it. But their claws in the process of playing this game have actually left indentures in the glass. And it seems improbable, I know. But I know that my cat's claws did this.
It's crazy.
Wow. I never even thought about that because I've seen those cat games.
Yeah.
Never even thought about that you could be endangering your iPad.
If you're going to play cat games, definitely get one of these screen protectors.
I feel like now as we fade out, I should be playing Cat Scratch Fever in the background, but I'll get in trouble. Hey guys, thank you. This has been a phenomenal round, both educational and entertaining, and definitely some great practical things here and yes, you have succeeded in spending more of my money. Thank you. I want to go around the room, let folks know where they can reach you when you're not here, and if they want to talk gift picks with you or anything else. Brett, what's the best way for people to find out where you are?
You can find me at brettterpstra.com. Hit the About button to find any of my contact information. And I am TT Scoff, TTSCOFF, on almost every single social platform you can find.
Great. Good to have you, Brett. Thanks so much. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Mark Fuccio, thank you for being here with a festive background and some great picks. What's the best way for folks to connect with you?
Well, probably the best way is Tuesday nights on MacVoices Live. Because it's an open community. There's always good discussions there, and there's various chat discussions going. Through YouTube, so it's interactive with the audience and always a lot of fun. Or best way, find me on X, formerly called Twitter, at MARKFUCCIO.
Great, Mark. Thanks so much. Happy holidays.
This was fun. Same to you.
The most, I think, is definitely the most festive person in dress that has appeared on this year's gift guides. Patrice Brend'amour, thanks so much. It's always great to see you and great to have your tech recommendations. Where can folks connect with you?
Well, thanks for having me, and I'm very happy you like my outfit. So I had to bring something. You can find me every week on the British Tech Network on two shows: BritishTechNetwork.com on the big show on Thursday nights, where we talk about the non-Apple side of things, and the Mac show on Fridays, where we talk about the Apple side of things, also with Chuck, by the way. You can find literally everything I'm doing, all the social media links, the platform, the podcast, the projects. I don't know where platforms came from. Everything I'm doing on my website, thepatrice.com. And you can listen to really cool people talk about food and food-related stories and memories on my podcast at foodieflashback.com.
Patrice, thanks so much. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
I also should mention, if you're hearing a little something strange, I didn't realize it until about 3/4 of the way through the show. Patrice has bells on her antlers. And so shake it a little bit, Patrice. And now,
now it's not picking up.
Yeah, now it's not doing it.
No, it's not picking it up.
Yeah. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So there is nothing wrong with your podcast player. I'm Chuck Joyner. This is Mac Voices. Again, go to the show notes for this episode, and you will find all of our links, the direct links to those picks. We also publish this stuff on MacVoices Magazine's Holiday Gift Guide Flipboard. So please check that out as well. All those links will be in the show notes. Until the next time, as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices each month. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.